Just want to start off with the film. Now that you've watched film on San Diego State, anything that kind of stood out to you that maybe didn't right after the game?
No, I just got to play a little better than we did on the road against a good team. Just got to play a little cleaner. Too many turnovers. Too much in transition. Thought we did a pretty good job defensively when we had them in the half court. So yeah, just a couple plays short.
The first half being what it was, is there anything you see in terms of like first half we need to get going quicker kind of thing, or is that just this game kind of isolated?
No, I thought the start of the first half was good. I thought we might have even been ahead for the more first 10 minutes or something. If anything, maybe just trying to do more to get them into a good position during that run. Like we had some empty possessions that I thought we probably could have helped them with, or different things. Like those are the kind of decisions you think about. Like, all right, we're coming up to the media. Should we have used one earlier? Like, got a timeout, got us in a good look. We were struggling offensively. We didn't have the flow we wanted for a long stretch where they kind of made the run to take control of the game. So there's always plays or decisions that you want back, but I don't know that there was anything like major that we felt like we should have done differently.
Okay, and then Tomislav, again, a half-to-half question. 2 points in one half, double-double in the second half, and was probably one of the best halves in Mountain West play this year, the second half of that. With him specifically as opposed to the team overall, was there anything that could have been done to get him going a little more earlier, or is that more on him, or is it more on guys not getting the ball?
I think it's everybody. The recognition of matchups, they were switching. We always talk about there's two advantages, and I thought we didn't necessarily find the interior advantage enough in the first half. We talked about that at halftime, did a better job, but also thought he had a couple plays around the basket that he didn't capitalize on. You know what I mean? So it's always kind of more than one thing. So everybody needed to play better and play cleaner for longer stretches in that game to get the result we needed.
I know we talked about how reliant you guys are on the freshmen a lot, and it's a problem with a lot of other sports and a lot of athletes that they hit a freshman wall. So I'm curious how much you're concerned about the possibility of that at all, and kind of what you might be doing to kind of limit some of that freshman wall stuff that they might hit.
Yeah, I don't. We're not doing anything. Hopefully they don't hit it. Like those guys are just. We think they're prepared physically. They're sharp. They're smart guys. They're playing good basketball. So, yeah, just doing what we do, crossing our fingers, I guess.
Speaking about Fresno State, obviously they've had a little bit of an up and down year. I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts are on them and heading into tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they're playing really good basketball right now. Won 3 out of 4, and the only one they lost, they didn't have Collins, who's a big part of what they're doing. So playing much better lately. Specifically defensively, they're doing a great job making it difficult for people. They have good players. They're well coached. We'll need to play well.
Coach, one more quick one on the San Diego State game. You guys had 12 or 13 fouls in the first half, put them on the line 22 times. Kind of uncharacteristic for you guys to be in foul trouble like that as a team. What do you attribute that to?
I don't have a specific answer for that. I was surprised that they got to the line that often, given that's not kind of their style. We don't foul that much. They don't draw very many fouls, but just kind of the way the game played out, unfortunately for us.
Yes. You talked about the turnovers, 17 turnovers for you guys against San Diego State. I think 6 for DA, 6 for Tomislav. Fresno's another team that is pretty good at turning you over. What are the keys to cleaning that up in this game?
Yeah, just spatial awareness, alertness, into drive decision making. Understanding space, attacking space. When we stay out of traffic, we do a much better job of that. So, San Diego State's a good defensive team. Fresno State's a good defensive team. It's not 100% about us, but we do need to control things that we can to try to limit those as much as possible.
The situation where you chose to foul there, obviously it was something that you guys had looked at, in advance of the game.
Yeah, poor free throw shooter in the 1-on-1. We felt like that was an opportunity for us. We considered in the first. I don't think it came up in the first half. It was something we talked about relative to the game, given Heidi's free throw shooting. So, felt like that was the right decision at that time.
And then plus the luxury of still only being in the one-on-one too. That is, another thing that played into it. Curious, during a possession when the game was tied, would there have been any consideration still in the one-on-one of fouling Heidi again?
Yeah, we would have considered that as well.
Because I think there was a possession that he actually had, so there would have been a chance to do it and just.
He has to be engaged in the play. Like, we can't foul him away from the play. So, he has to have the ball, which is
Yeah,
hard,
no,
kind of, yeah.
I thought he had a touch, but maybe not.
Coach, a couple of years ago, there was a player here, True Washington, who had a shot to win the game against Air Force. He was a freshman, missed it, and it was this deflating moment for the team. But he always talked about how that made him better. That learning from an experience of failure made him a better player. And then the end game scenario where Uriah had a chance to come down and hit that shot to potentially, do something for you. Do you think that's a learning experience for him? Do you think that makes him better down the road?
Yeah, every game is a learning experience for all of them, and the younger guys in particular. Uriah's that won't be the last, late game shot he gets in his career, and someone we believe in and his ability to create his own and get to a quality shot. So, I'm sure he'll be better for it.
And that is not an easy place to play. They're one of the better teams. It's one of the better home court advantages in the country. It seems like there's positives coming out of that game. You erased a 15-point deficit, had a shot to win that thing. Is this a thing where it's not? Because I think Lobo Nation has a tendency to, feels like the universe is collapsing in on itself when they lose a game, but that doesn't seem to be the case after this game.
Yeah, I don't know how Lobo Nation feels about it. We're disappointed. We felt like it was an opportunity to get a win on the road, but conference play is kind of relentless in the next one up, and if you're still worried about the one before, then it can affect the one that's coming up, and so our job is to not allow that to happen. But we don't feel like, oh, we did great, we came close. Like that's not our mindset. Like we missed an opportunity, we're disappointed in the result. We feel like if we play well, and there were a lot of things in that game we could have done better. Not that we didn't have stretches where we played well. We feel like if we play good basketball, then we can get a positive result every time out. So yeah, we don't feel like content with coming close. That's not really the expectation.
And we're about a third of the way through the conference race, and this team's getting some chatter about being a team that's could wind up in the NCAA tournament. I think for a lot of people, it surprises them the fact that this is an expansion team. You guys are playing this well, but I don't know. Are you surprised at all at the success you've had to this point?
No, we think we have good players. We expect to play good basketball. I think our guys deserve a lot of credit for the improvement that they've made, but we'll have to continue to do that. I think that's something that we've seen and talked about, that, kind of what's good enough the last time out is probably not good enough the next time. And, like we played well enough to beat some of the teams in the league on Saturday, but that's not what the schedule had for us, and so it wasn't enough. And we have to play at a level that we want to consistently play at a really high level, so that we're not sort of fluctuating with results, and that we're really consistent. Like that's, in my opinion, conference regular seasons they're marathons, not sprints, and it's about who can be the most consistent, who has the highest floor, who plays really well the most often, not just whose best basketball shows up one time. So that's why our focus is always on improving and trying to, individually and collectively get better, so that our floor goes up, and that we're not, on a sort of roller coaster of results as we go through the conference.
TA just hit, 1,000 career points. I'm just curious your thoughts about what that says about him as a player, and kind of why you think it's important to kind of celebrate accomplishments like that. Yeah,
not a lot of guys score 1,000 points in their college basketball career, so congratulations to Dayton for that. He's a talented guy. I think that's just at the Division I level, which for him is not that many basketball games.
3 seasons.
Two and a half.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that, but like, so that's an impressive accomplishment for him. And yeah, like these guys put a lot of time and effort into not just our team but their careers. And so anytime they accomplish milestones, we certainly want to recognize them and congratulate them.
I know you won't rank them, but like, is taking away Zion as much as or the priority here, or is it Jake Hybrider on the outside? Is there a priority that you would tip your hat to?
Yeah, all of the above. We want to try to limit. You mentioned two of their best players, and those are guys that certainly when they're good or playing good basketball, and so yeah, we need to do a good job on both, and just kind of collectively try to keep them from doing the stuff that they're the best at.
And then their freshman, Deshaun Gorey, has been, I think the last 2.5 weeks, he's averaging a double-figure rebounding. He's become one of the best rebounders in the league, at least recently. Is there something that he's doing that surprised you? At 6'6", to be averaging double figures rebounding is pretty impressive. I'm curious if you see any similarities to him in either Tomislav or anybody else in how he's rebounding.
Yeah, no, I mean Tomislav's probably not the comparison there, just positionally, but yeah, Deshaun's doing a great job on the glass, playing good basketball for them on both sides of the ball, and having a really impactful freshman season. But yeah, his rebounding specifically in the last few games has been really impressive. But I don't know that it's anything other than just his kind of ability to go get it and track the ball and pursue it.
And Fresno State's a team that last year, I think they started slowing down towards the end of the year, but they were a bunch of the year last year top 20 in tempo. They're down to like 170 this year in tempo, and I'm curious if that's something that have you watched much film from last year? Are they still at times trying to push the pace, or are they just a much slower team?
I have not watched a lot of what they did last year. I mean the amount of turnover across all the teams kind of makes that not as we're so different, they're so different. Like we have enough film now for this year that we're pretty focused on this team.
Okay, and Vance Wahlberg is a guy that gets credited for dribble drive offense stuff. I'm curious what you see in what he's doing that makes Fresno State's offense unique.
Yeah, I mean he's sort of the godfather of that, or but they have those concepts, but they're not just dribble drive over and over. There's a little more variation in what they're doing relative to kind of maybe how you think about dribble drive. Those concepts are certainly there, and you see them, but it's not just 40 minutes of dribble drive.
Coach, Luke Hobbs, 3 for 4 from the three-point line. It just looked like he really shot the ball really confidently. Do you think that can translate into later games in this conference season?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Luke puts the work in. He takes the right shots. We feel comfortable with those, and so yeah, if he makes them, it certainly adds a dimension to what he's doing offensively, which is already a pretty good performance in how he plays and what he does defensively. So yeah, I mean, if he's making shots, I think it raises our level for sure.
And then their rim protection, Fresno State, they got the 7-footer Hawkes, but outside of that, not a lot of rim protection. I think they're allowing teams to shoot 70% at the rim. Do you think that's a place where you guys can have some success in this game?
Yeah, I mean, we always want to attack the basket. Obviously that was something we struggled with San Diego State, where they blocked some shots and saved some baskets, made some plays around the basket to limit us. So, yeah, kind of understanding opponent personnel. Is it this is a game we can really attack different lineups. Maybe it's we need to be under control and use a lift fake, like those kind of things. We try to have the preparation and discussion about what our attack should look like in a lot of different facets of our offense, but around the basket relative to their rim protection is one we're always focused on.
Anything else for Coach?
Are classes back this week?
Yeah.
Today.
Anything back to changing of the schedule or kind of getting back into the schedule with classes back that is good or bad for you guys?
I mean, it's a little different for guys with just their daily schedule, and it might take them a week or so to find the routine. But it's college basketball; they're used to going to class.
We learned that, again, like I said, first half is the most troubling part that cost us the game. We saw where we need to improve again, what we didn't do good and what we did good, what we need to keep. the things that we need to work on the days that we can, because it's a tight schedule. Every couple of days we have games, so we just gotta learn and prepare for other games.
Is this a schedule you're used to? A couple of weeks?
Yes, I would say more or less, yeah.
So Fresno State has a couple of really good individual rebounders. They have a freshman who's only 6'6", but he's been averaging double-figure rebounds the last few weeks in Gorey. I don't know what number he is, but Sean Gorey. What do you see in the rebounding battle with Fresno State and a couple of their forwards that are pretty good?
I see that it's going to be pretty tough. They come for, I think, 2 games in a row that they won. They're playing good basketball last weeks, and we need to be aware that they can hurt us, especially right now. They know that we are coming from a loss, and they're coming from a winning streak, so we need to be careful, be physical against them, because, like you said, guys are playing hard, especially on the glass, and we need to be prepared for that.
So going back to the GCU game when you're in foul trouble, struggle to get going, and then the start of the San Diego State game, it took a while for you to get going. I'm just curious for yourself, is there something that like defenses are playing you a certain way to kind of slow you down, or is it like you need to kind of get in such like a flow state to kind of get yourself going?
I mean, every game is different and it's for itself. It depends. Some games you start good, some games you don't. Depends also on other things like foul trouble, which don't keep you going into like flow, like you said. But for me, it's always like keep continuing to play, forget about the things that happen. If it's a miss or a foul or whatever it is, just every time when I'm stepping in on the court, giving everything I can to keep me going, and the team as well. Because I think like the team needs me to be myself, and when I feel myself and I'm playing good, the team has benefits from it.
So I mean, you hear it a lot, in basically every sport about a freshman wall, where freshmen get to a certain point of their first season, and it kind of things get a little tougher for them. They get tired or whatever. I know you obviously have a little more experience than a typical freshman, but obviously this team relies so heavily on freshmen. So how are you guys kind of approaching hitting that point of the season where it might be a freshman wall?
I mean, other teams are adjusting too. They know our strengths. They're trying to keep me out of my strengths and the strengths that my other 2 freshmen have. I mean, everybody watch video nowadays. They see what you're capable of, and they try to take it away. It's a long season, and it doesn't matter if I'm freshman, senior, or junior, whatever. There are ups and downs. Some games you play good, some games you don't. Some games you win, some games you lose. So you just got to keep continuing to work, improve each game, see the mistakes you did. Of course, like we are traveling, we play back-to-back games. It's tough, especially when you lose, to bounce back, but this is a great experience for each one of us.
Tomislav, you only had 3 shot attempts in the first half against San Diego State, and then you got 12 in the second half. Was there anything different about the second half while you got more opportunities? I know you had 6 offensive rebounds, but how did you get the ball a little bit more?
The guards did a pretty good job in the second half, passing me the ball and trusting my abilities, although I got only 3 shots in the first half, but sometimes that also happens. Sometimes you don't get the ball, or other plays I'm playing well. So maybe it's on me that 3 shots were not that good, so they maybe thought that I'm not playing well at that time. So second half, they trusted me. Even when I was also missing, I did make all of the shots. So for me, it's the most important thing is that I showed them that I can play whether I'm not making shots or making shots, because I think that I can also give the team other things except scoring, like rebounding, do steals, blocks, whatever it is, so they can see that I'm playing hard anyway, or the situation. If I'm scoring, like I said, some days you don't feel like scoring, but you can do other things to help the team to win.
And then looking ahead to Fresno State, they do have a 7-footer inside, but outside of that, they don't really have a lot of rim protection. I think they're allowing teams to shoot around 70% at the rim. Do you feel like this is a game where you can have some success?
I mean, yes, of course. As I've seen, that's the only real big, the French kid, freshman. but I'm not going to underestimate nobody because you never know who can step up on the team if they get a chance. So for me, it's, like I said, every game, play hard from the beginning and see what's going to happen.
Viejas Arena in San Diego State, that's one of the toughest college basketball venues to play in. You're playing a pretty good team. That said, you guys are about to get blown out in that game. You're down 15 in the second half. You came back, had a shot to win it. I know no loss is really ever good, but what are the positives you guys can bring out of that game?
For me, is that even when it went bad, we were down 15, we didn't give up. We came strong as a team, and I think that builds up chemistry, that we didn't give up. We had a chance to win the game. It was honestly one possession. It didn't end up well for us at the end, tough loss, but I think that we showed character after all, that even when we don't play good, that we can always bounce back and that nobody can say that we're going to get blown out, as we showed during the season. I don't think that we had the really bad loss. I thought every loss that it could go either way. So we need to learn from every loss, especially because when you win, you don't think about maybe some mistakes that you did. So that sometimes, of course, nobody likes to lose, but you can really, really learn from it.
Now, I want to ask something about you specifically. You're going to college from your hometown, which is on the other side of the planet. You're in a different place. You're probably in a place you never even heard of before you got here. You're taking college classes. It's not your native language. The travel for the Mountain West is not easy. You're on the road a lot. How are you holding up, and how do you make things work for yourself?
For me, the most important things that I can do on my own are getting good rest, sleep, nutrition, the things that I can do to keep my body feeling good. Although, like you said, it's not easy at all because I'm not used to going to class. I'm on altitude. I'm not even near home. So those are some things that, of course, it took some time to adjust. But I think as each game, each week was going on, passing by, that I adjusted pretty well right now. And I just need to keep going and approach every game as the last game of the season because there are not a lot of games left. Each one matters because for me, the goal is clear, to win either the Mountain West or the tournament. I'm not going to hide those things because I think that we are a capable team. That's why, for me, I want to win every game, except I'm playing good or maybe a little bit less good, because it's not about me, about my statistics. It's about the team, that the team wins. And I want to be a leader for a championship team.
So one of the things you've been able to do is be so effective around the basket in the lane, even when you yourself attempt a shot, your innate ability to follow after it in case it doesn't go in. Is that something that has been a strength of your game going back years?
Not really. I was playing mostly outside on the perimeter, so my role changed a little bit because of the whole roster and the situation. Because basically, except JT, we don't have any real bigs. So right now, I think the teams that I'm playing against are maybe a little bit less physical. That's why I know how to right now use the strength even when I go to the rim hard. Even when I miss, I know that sometimes around me there are not going to be so many big guys, so I can maybe take a second chance. It's going to benefit the team because the other team also don't want you to, even when you miss, to get the rebound. That hurts people, and that's what I try to do.
Speaking of playing the perimeter a lot at different times, your comfortability in the open court, the steal you made, followed by a transition dunk. We've seen you at different times get out there. Is that also a benefit from how you played as a perimeter player growing up?
Yes, I would say so, because previous seasons I was mostly playing on a power forward position. That's why I consider myself a forward more than a center, because I was playing a little bit on the 5, but mostly on the 4. And I got used to a different type of playing style, back then, but I don't want to reflect on that because right now, like I said, I have a different role. Coaches want me to do also different things, and I appreciate that because I think I improved my game where I'm more versatile. I could do a little bit more things than just being a center.
About halfway through, or approaching halfway through conference play, do you start paying attention, or do any of the players start paying attention to the standings?
Yes, of course. We are well aware, and we know that if we won that game, that we will be first. That, I mean, our season is not over. There are still high chances that we can win the Mountain West. That's why we need to learn from each game, and it's going to be precious so that we don't want to lose any more games like this to be competitive till the end.
And then the real important one, do you call it standings or do you call it a table, or is that just the soccer thing?
I mean, back home is always the table, but right now I got adjusted, so I say standings. So.
Tomislav, you were the one that took the foul inside of a minute at the end of the game that coach had instructed you guys if Heidi were to catch the ball, let's see if we can get a foul on him because he wasn't a good free throw shooter. I wondered how far back had that been discussed and how recently had they mentioned it in a timeout or something like that because of the strategy. It seemed like a terrific strategy at the time.
There was a talk between me and coach. I think we discussed it when I got in. I think the last couple of minutes, if I'm not mistaken, that at the minute at the end that we take that foul. I listened to the instructions. I didn't even doubt it. It's a gamble where it can go both sides. If he missed one, that would be great for us. We will have the possession. Unfortunately, he didn't. It was a tie game. I mean, we still had a chance. Doesn't matter of him missing or making. And, I mean, I had a turnover. At the end, we had another shot to maybe tie it or win it. It didn't go in. And we could think of it, maybe if we didn't make a foul, if they hit a three or made a bucket, then we would think, oh, why we didn't make a foul? So it could go both ways. But, I mean, you cannot think that one play, lost the game because we had a couple of times where it could go our way, so I wouldn't think that that was the key to losing the game.